It's expensive to be poor. Why is that? The truth is most people are not super wealthy, but we all have an idea what it might be like to be rich. We watch it on TV, we follow wealthy person on Instagram, we read their blogs and autobiographies. Unfortunately, this awareness doesn't flow in the other direction. While many of us have described ourselves as broke or poor at some point, very few truly understand what real poverty feels like. It's not just about having less money. Once you fall below a certain income level, a whole new set of rules makes day-to-day life more expensive. If you've never faced real poverty, you might not be aware of the many hidden costs and financial traps that keep poor people poor. Navigating modern life without basic financial services like checking accounts, ATMs, and personal checks is extremely difficult. But the less money you have, the more these services will cost you. Banks make money by accruing interest on your balance. If your account is below a certain threshold, usually under $1,500, they won't consider you profitable and will charge you a monthly fee for basic services. Overdrafts incur hefty fees, often around $35 per incident, and banks might reorder transactions from largest to smallest to maximize these fees. If you manage to get credit, the terms will be less favorable than those with better financial histories. You'll pay higher interest rates and face more penalties for late payments. Even cash can be more expensive when you're poor. Withdrawing $100 from an out-of-network ATM incurs a $3 fee, a 3% service charge. If you can only afford to take out $20 at a time, you're essentially paying a 15% fee to access your own money. Altogether, this means a poor person might pay hundreds or thousands of dollars annually for services that wealthier individuals get for free. It's no surprise that many low-income people avoid banks altogether, but that comes with its own costs. Cashing a paycheck without a bank account, buying money orders to pay bills, and using services like FedEx to avoid late fees all add up. Dealing with credit card debt is tough, but dealing with payday or car title lenders is even worse. These are often the only options for people without credit cards, and their interest rates can reach 800% annually. The cost of living is also higher for poor people. Feeding a family on a tight budget is best done by buying in bulk, but many poor people can't afford to do that. Even if they had the cash, how would they transport all those groceries without a car? Large retailers with lower prices often avoid poor neighborhoods, forcing residents to rely on more expensive local convenience stores or fast food, which is pricier than cooking at home and worse for long-term health. Rent can be another huge burden. Most landlords require a security deposit of $500 to $1,000, an impossible sum for those barely getting by. This often forces people into low-end extended stay motels, which are more expensive than apartments in the long run and lack amenities like kitchens and laundry facilities. Time is money, and the less money you have, the more time you spend on everyday tasks like waiting at bus stops, laundromats, clinics, and public offices. This leaves less time for family, extra work, or planning a way out of poverty. Inflation tends to hit essentials like food, gas, and rent the hardest. The lower your income, the higher the percentage of it that goes to these costs, so poor people see their expenses rise faster than wealthier individuals. All these pressures take a toll on mental health. Constantly making tough decisions about spending your last few dollars leads to decision fatigue, which impairs judgment. This is why someone might resort to a payday lender despite knowing it's a bad idea. They're exhausted and need a quick fix. The scarcity trap is another psychological burden. It's the tendency to fixate on what you lack, losing sight of the bigger picture. A poor mother might panic about running out of diapers and buy 6 months' worth, only to realize she didn't save enough for rent. Some people think poor individuals just need to work harder and spend smarter. While improving your financial situation does require these efforts, it also requires having extra cash to move around and access to decent spending options. If you can't choose where you shop, live, or bank, you become a captive customer to predatory businesses. Without extra money to save, invest, or budget, you can't make a financial plan. And how can you think about the future when you're constantly putting out today's fires? Next time you describe yourself as broke, remember that having a little wiggle room is infinitely better than having none. It can make all the difference if you're trying to improve your financial situation. So if you do have that wiggle room, be thankful and don't waste it.